All right, let's pivot away from that story for a moment and let's talk about the big breach. I mean, Forrest, when this hit the news Saturday morning, I'm like, huh? What? I said, like, hold up. Wait a minute, something ain't right, right? And I'm seeing this story hit the news, and it really, the notice that came out was officially that the FBI email server was hacked and that it was being used to send out fake threats. What makes this so dangerous, though?
That when looking at the email, it's completely indistinguishable as being from their infrastructure. It's from their IP. The IP was valid. It's correct domain. Yeah. It's got SPF, DKIM, DMARC records are all passing. So this is cryptographically verified as coming from the FBI. It would definitely make my heart skip a few beats if I were to receive this notification. Yeah, we'll put it up here.
Yeah, and this is on the screen right now. You're seeing an example of what that email looked like. Basically, the key takeaway that, as we understand it, is that this threat actor was able to abuse poor coding that was found in the FBI website. And the threat actor himself actually put out a notice saying, hey, check the headers of this email. It's actually coming from the FBI. I'm contacting you today. You located a botnet being hosted on your forehead. I mean, just crazy stuff that this guy wrote. But, you know, the bottom line is, folks, if you are a member of law enforcement, right, and you get this notification Saturday that, hey, your environment, there's something wrong with your environment, there's a bad guy, you're going to take it for real. You're going to take it serious.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, the big tip off that everybody was like, this is so absurd. And it's like, realistically, like reading through this, the only thing that is really absurd is their attribution, you know, where they're pointing their finger right at Vinnie Troia. And it's
the security researcher that works for the FBI.
Yeah. So if you don't have that background, knowing that, you know, this person is a legitimate researcher, and you don't go searching for it, you're immediately going to be acting on impulse. I mean, I've seen much stupider aliases than, what was it, the Dark Overlord or whatever. Like, right. This whole thing was just incredible in the scope and what they did with it. It's like, I thought it was interesting that they didn't use it for, like, you know, mass harvesting of credentials or phishing or something along those lines. It was more just like egg in your face. You know, just prankster.
We got you.
Yeah. It feels like you know, the old school defacements. You know, this site was owned by, but, you know, instead it's this dude with the FBI. I guess there's a whole bunch of backstory drama between the Pom Pom Purin and Vinnie Troia. Personally, I'm more of a fan of Choco Cat, if we're going in the Sanrio fandom, but
it's obviously stuff beyond the scope of what we have time to talk about today. But what's really interesting, folks, if you're not aware of how law enforcement operates, is they have a law enforcement portal, and what you can do is go into this portal as a member of law enforcement, and you can read these kind of messages that get sent out officially through these official channels. And again, the threat actor was able to abuse this code and get into this portal, this law enforcement portal. But hold on, Forrest. Wait a minute. We got more to the story, right? Hey,
always more.
Heffy Mays here for CyberClean. There's actually more data going on with this story, more behind the scenes stuff. And that is that the threat actor that sent out this message actually is claiming to allegedly stole all the data from the Robinhood breach. Have you heard about that too?
Yeah. It's an interesting connecting of the dots. But before we go too deep into this, one thing I did want to mention was join your local ISAC, the Information Sharing and Analysis Center. It's the private public joint venture between, you know, your regional FBI offices and law enforcement. They'll be able to get you the straight dope on these sort of things when it's you know, you have an event like this. You can go to them and they can authoritatively say whether or not it's legitimate.
Yeah, well said, Forrest. Thanks for bringing that up. But again, you know, back to the story with this breach at the FBI. The hacker then claims that he has stolen the data from the Robinhood breach and is actually, you know, taking credit for both the FBI breach, and now he's also taking credit for the Robinhood breach. Whether or not this is true or not, we'll put up a screenshot here on the screen where you could see what his dark web store looks like and where he's trying to, you know, sell this information. But fascinating stuff. As the cyber world burns, I mean, the story just keeps getting more and more intriguing all the time.
Oh, yeah.